This game did not exist this morning. A playable 3D hover racer, Neon City, menus, scoring, the lot, and no human wrote a single line of it. I typed one sentence into a terminal on this PC, hit enter, and walked away. 4 minutes later, it was done. The AI that built it is called Claude Fable 5, and it went public yesterday. Here's the strange part. It comes from the same company that days earlier publicly begged the entire industry to slow down, because AI like this is getting too dangerous. Both of those things are true. Let me show you what they actually released. Here's what you'll actually get in the next 8 minutes, because most of the coverage is just people reading the press release. 1. What Fable 5 really is. There's a whole new class of AI above Opus now, and that changes the map. 2. The genuinely weird part nobody's explaining. This is the first mainstream AI that can refuse you mid-conversation and hand your question to a different, safer model, live. 3. The honest numbers. It is now the most expensive model on the market, and I'll tell you when it's worth it. And 4. The free window, because right now you can try it without paying, and that door closes on June the 22nd. First, the story, because the timing is wild. Last week, Anthropic, the company behind Claude, published an open plea asking every major AI lab to agree on what they called a coordinated brake pedal for frontier AI. Their warning: these systems are improving so fast they may soon start improving themselves without us. We covered that plea on this channel. Then yesterday, the same company released the most powerful AI anyone has ever made public. And Fable 5 isn't just a better Claude. For years the ladder was Haiku, then Sonnet, then Opus at the top. Fable sits in a brand new class above all of them, called Mythos, a model so capable that when an early version surfaced this spring, Anthropic itself said it was too dangerous to hand out. This is that model, tamed, fenced, and now sitting in your Claude app. So how good is it really? On the headline benchmark for agentic coding, Fable scores 80%, Opus 4.8, the best model in the world until last week, scores 69. That is not a version bump, that's a different league. It's the first model ever to break 90% on Hex's analytics benchmark, a 10-point jump over Opus. And the independent tests agree. One team ran it through their own senior engineer exam, a messy, real production codebase, and Fable scored 91 out of 100. The previous best score from Opus was 63. 91 is what a human senior engineer gets on that test. And in early testing, Stripe pointed it at a 50 million line codebase migration, work they estimated at 2 months for a whole team. Fable did it in a day. Now the part that makes this release genuinely new, and a little strange. Fable ships with watchdog AIs called classifiers sitting between you and the model. Ask anything in 4 areas: offensive cybersecurity, biological or chemical weapons territory, or attempts to clone the model itself. And the watchdogs block Fable's answer and hand your question to Opus 4.8 instead. Live mid-conversation, and it tells you it's happening. Think about that. The safety system isn't a refusal message anymore, it's a substitution. A more powerful mind tags out, and a safer one tags in. Anthropic says this fires in fewer than 5% of sessions, and an external bug bounty hammered it for over 1,000 hours without finding a single universal jailbreak. But there's a trade buried in the fine print. Every conversation with a Mythos-class model is now kept for 30 days. For safety review, they say, never for training. That's the actual deal on the table, the most powerful AI ever released, in exchange for a chaperone and a little less privacy. Enough press release. Here's my own launch day test on this machine. I opened Claude Code, switched the model to Fable 5, and gave it one sentence. Build me a complete, playable 3D hover racer in a single file. Title screen, scoring, game over, the lot. Then I did the thing you're not used to doing with AI. Nothing, no follow-ups, no fixing its mistakes, no babysitting. It planned the game, wrote it, checked its own work, and stopped when it was done. About 4 minutes, start to finish. What came back was 700 lines in one file. It even named the thing Voltrunner, and it ran first time. A glowing city canyon, obstacles, a difficulty curve, a restart screen. Is it a AAA game? No, but the point isn't the game. The point is the workflow. You describe a finished thing, you leave, and a finished thing is waiting when you come back. That's what a Mythos class model changes, and it's exactly why the company selling it keeps asking the world to slow down. Now the part the hype skips. The bill. Fable 5 costs $10 per million tokens in and $50 out. That's double Opus, and it makes this the most expensive mainstream model you can buy. Worse, models like this think in long, deep runs. They're token-hungry by design, so a big task can quietly turn into real money. Anthropic claims it finishes jobs in fewer tokens overall, and early testers say the sweet spot is the extra high effort setting, not max. Max costs nearly double for a sliver more accuracy. But here's the thing that matters for you. If you're already on a paid Claude plan, Fable is included at no extra cost right now, until June the 22nd. After that, it moves behind usage credits, so there is a roughly 2-week window where the most powerful AI on Earth is effectively a free trial. Use it. So who should actually use it? Honest scorecard. Fable is for big, meaty, walkaway work. Refactor this whole codebase, analyze this entire dataset, research this topic properly, and come back with a plan. If you already work with AI agents and you've got problems that take hours, this is the best tool ever made for you, full stop. But if your day is quick questions and everyday writing, this is overkill, slower, pricier, and not noticeably better at short tasks. The Week 1 testers found its prose isn't even clearly better than Opus. And if you're still learning the basics, a giant model won't skip you up the curve. You'd be paying warp prices for trips to the corner shop. Match the tool to the size of your problems, not to the hype. If you want to feel what this thing actually is, do this before June the 22nd. Step 1. Open Claude, the app or Claude Code, and switch the model to Fable 5. If you're on a paid plan, it's already there, included. Step 2. Don't chat with it. Give it one big, complete brief, a real task you'd hand a contractor with everything it needs to know up front. That's the skill that unlocks this model. Step 3. Walk away. Make coffee, do your job, come back. Then judge the result like you judge a contractor's work. One real task like that will teach you more about where AI actually is in 2026 than 100 demo videos, including this one. So that's the whiplash of 2026. The company most worried about AI just handed the public its most powerful model, with a chaperone built in. If you want my exact one-sentence game prompt, plus the setup I used to run it, comment the word Fable and I'll send it over. Subscribe if you want the big AI stories tested for real, not just read out loud. And if $50 per million tokens made you wince, watch the video where I cancelled every AI subscription and replaced them with a free stack. See you in the next one.